We are here to celebrate Nat's 75th birthday. Let us look upon the journey he has shared with us at different times and in different places. Nat claims to be an ordinary man, surrounded by farmlands who got lucky. Nat was born in Mullanpur, Gujarat, a small village in the Punjab, to a middle-class average family. He took his early education from the local school in the village.
नथु राम बारे दसना चाहूँगा कि वो पहली जमात तो लेके 10वीं जमात तक असीं इकट्ठे पढ़े हैं, इकट्ठे एक थॉट यानी विचरते रहे हैं। उन्होंने बारे थोड़ा जिहा मैं तुहानूं दसदा कि पहली क्लास तो ही उन्हों का दिमाग बड़ा चालू सी ते दूजियां दा भला करने वास्ते आप बड़े सहयोग दिंदे।
Nat graduated from SD College in Ambala in India. He was a natural leader. While in the college, Nat engineered the first student strike. The walk from the village close to Chandigarh to Ambala for college was long and tedious. His bicycle was at most times unserviceable. The cycle used to ride Nat more than he could ride it.
Nathu Ram जी मैं बचपन तो जानना साड़ी राय जड़ी थी के गली च सीगी और असी इकट्ठे खेलते रहे। ये 1 साल पिछे सीगे तो ये देखो भी किसी टाइम इन्हों को साइकिल नूं पेंचर लाने लई भी 50 पैसे नहीं थे होंदे। फिर इन्होंने अपने इन्ने हार्ड वर्कर सीगे कि ट्रक भी चलाया।
Nat arrived in the UK from Punjab in 1966 with a degree in mathematics. After his initial training as a consulting engineer in the United Kingdom, he took a job at FG Skerritts, a local company. He later went on to acquire it. In 1983, Nat started the manufacturing business career which we know today as Purico Group.
Well, I met him about 30 years back, and 25 to 30 years back, and my first impression was that he's a good gentleman, worth knowing.
It's difficult to say when I first met Nat. I can't remember. I was certainly aware of him well before I met him because, of course, he was frequently in the newspaper and so on, but I guess I must have met him at Trent Bridge. So I can't say exactly when I met him, but I do recall that when my wife first met him, she said, "What a charming man."
I first met Nat when I first became leader of the council way back in the 90s, and the chief executive then, Ted Cantle, invited all the great and good of the city and of the area to meet me as on some prize exhibit. And Nat was one of them, and I was told that Nat was a very important person I needed to be very nice to.
The growth of the company has been organic from its internal business values to improvement in processes, new technologies and acquisitions. Today, Purico is a diversified industrial manufacturing company with interests in the paper manufacture and distribution, polymers and plastics, ITs and communications, engineering, trading companies, hospitality, real estate and property investments.
My goodness me, I've known Nat over 20 years, and we first met in Talbot House, as I recall, in Nottingham, and Nat came to see me and we talked about how we might work together on ventures. I think in India was the essence of that particular discussion, and my relationship with him, my friendship with him has lasted all this time.
Well, I met Nat 5 years ago, roughly, and he came to my office shortly after I became Secretary of State. and I was struck with somebody who had a real passion for manufacturing, for engineering, a certain frustration that this had somehow disappeared from the UK. He wanted to rebuild it, and was demonstrating that it was possible to do good business and good manufacturing in Britain. He was also felt passionately about, I think, his dual identity. He was from the Indian diaspora, that he'd become British and felt very much part of British society, and very eager to tap into the talents of the Indian diaspora community in Britain.
He saw the emerging opportunities in China, and early on in 1995 looked at creating opportunities where none existed. Devon Valley, or UPT as we know, is one such case. Nat had a keen eye to look out for opportunities. When Nat talks of market opportunities, he means of Micro-Bolcher, a group company making specialised chrome plastic parts for the upmarket automobile industry. Bolter Worker, a group company, was approached by Volkswagen to assist in establishing a quality chrome plate facility in Mexico. A joint venture was successfully established with a local Mexican manufacturer, and high-quality product was being delivered in less than 16 months. He gives credit to his team for meticulous planning and execution. Subsequently, he has now gone on to set up another plant in Tuscaloosa in the United States of America.
This will change the lives of 350 plus families immediately. They have a better, higher amount of money available. They can send their children to school, to better school.
I first met Nat probably 20 years ago when he was visiting university. Actually visiting my predecessor as Vice-Chancellor. The initial impressions, someone with warmth, someone with compassion, someone that I immediately knew I'd like to know better.
He's one of the most extraordinary and also the most successful entrepreneurs I've ever come across, because I think his approach to business, as far as I can gather, is quite different to that of most of the other entrepreneurs I've ever met. He has a completely one-off, rather unfashionable, and he made some of them extremely successful. And he's modified his approach over the years, but Purico is an entirely individual one-off.
I think that he has a very good grasp of detail, especially in the areas that he does deal with engineering. I think he's also got a very general view of the world. He understands how macroeconomics work. He's got a philosophy as well, and he's also got a very good nose for money. I think the combination of those four make him a damn good businessman, and a decent one as well.
Nat's he's a great entrepreneur. He's got great determination and resilience, and he's prepared to take risks. And of course, if you're not prepared to take risks in the world of business, then you aren't really going to succeed, because you'll end up just conserving what you've got rather than trying to push on. And he's not a reckless risk taker, he's a calculated risk taker. And I think the combination of that and his capacity for just sheer hard work have made him as successful as he is.
Nat is truly a very successful businessman, and there are a number of reasons for that, I think. One is he's a brilliant problem solver. You give Nat a problem and you wouldn't have anyone better at your side in finding a solution to that particular business problem, or indeed any issue you want to get resolved.
So he's a very shrewd man, a very good judge, and ultimately you judge business people by their success, and he has been very successful. Unlike some other business people in the UK, he's not a very high-profile figure. He's gone on and built his companies and done very well, and made a sort of massive contribution to British society. I mean, he's very active in Nottingham.
He's a very generous man, very kind-hearted, generous, but he's a very good businessman. He's an excellent businessman, and I think his ideas, he's a far-sighted businessman. He also, like me, he came with nothing here, and he worked as an engineer, and how he has made his life is incredible.
He's one of the most extraordinary and also the most successful entrepreneurs I've ever come across, because I think his approach to business, as far as I can gather, is quite different to that of most of the other entrepreneurs I've ever met. He has a completely one-off, rather unfashionable approach. In those days, he used to acquire failing companies that were badly managed. He acquired a collection of companies that other people wouldn't have looked at, and he made some of them extremely successful.
Today, Purico is a private company and employs over 3,000 people worldwide, including the United Kingdom, the United States of America, Germany, Mexico and China. The company headquarters is here in Nottingham. The group's annual sales turnover exceeds at least $500 million US. Within 30 years, Nat has established an international company with as diverse interests and a successful private enterprise in the UK. However, Nat also has a passion for cricket. He makes sure he can take some time off work to join the young cricketers on the field. While he supports the English team and was president of the Nottingham Cricket County, he misses no chance to be with the Indian team.
Well, one of the events that I remember with Nat is that he was kind enough to invite me to attend the award of his honorary degree at Nottingham University. And as I sat there, I thought I recognised the gentleman on my right-hand side, but I couldn't put a name to him. And then when we got into conversation, I realised it was none other than that great Indian batsman, Sunil Gaskava. And as a mark of how much Nat is esteemed, Sunil had flown over from Chicago that morning. Not only had he flown over, but he'd lost all his luggage because the airline had failed to deliver his luggage, so he'd only got what he stood or rather sat in at that moment.
I remember meeting Nat way back in 1974, that's almost 40 years ago, when India was playing in Trent and he came into the Indian dressing room and he gave us some sort of an incentive, said, look, you guys are not doing well, I want you to do well. And ever since that time, he has been a huge supporter of not just Indian cricket, but cricket. And the fact that he was, till a couple of years ago, the president of the Nottinghamshire County Cricket Club is testimony to the fact how much he has contributed to the game of cricket. Indian cricketers will always remember him for his generosity and his hospitality.
Nat created the Puri Foundation, a charitable organisation with an initial funding of £1 million in July 1988. The foundation was set up with diverse objectives to provide financial assistance in cases of extreme need, hardship or distress, and the advancement of education, leisure and recreational facilities, particularly for young people. He realised early on that investment in educational infrastructure and facilities helped the society the most, and has tried to create facilities towards this in the United Kingdom, India and Nepal.
Nat, I think, is deceptively simple in his approach, but his achievements demonstrate that he is extremely creative and brings together a combination of most effective management and leadership, which of course on occasions appears unorthodox, but obviously highly effective.
India is a country of villages. Nat always wanted to do more for his village. He loved to come back to his village and help out where he could. He went on to set up a senior secondary high school in his village. This gave an opportunity for the senior boys and girls to move to more spacious location and the girls' school to move to the bigger boys' school. Nat has the view that if you set up something in his village and named it after, say, his father, then others will follow suit. Then other well-to-do people will also want to set up a school or college in their villages, and like this, necessary educational infrastructure can be created in each village. The foundation also supports 750 single teacher schools in Nepal and Indian Institute of Advanced Research, now a university in Gujarat. The institute was formally handed over to the people of Gujarat in April 2006 by His Excellency Dr. APG Abdul Kalam, the President of India, in presence of Shri Narendra Bhai Modi.
I am a PhD candidate working on cancer biology at Department of Cell Biology at University and Institute of Advanced Research, Gandhinagar, under the support of the Puri Foundation for Education in India. I presented a public lecture on aspects of treatment of cancer at the annual meeting of European Molecular Biology Organization at Amsterdam in 2013.
The people of Nottingham have recognised his support for the community and bestowed on him the Freeman of Nottingham in 2012.
Well, he has got a good sense of humour. Many funny moments, but I can't recall how many are there. But yes, he has got a good sense of humour, and he is always, even a serious meeting, he will say something which is like a joke.
Well, I've been to a couple of events where he has been commemorated. There was an opening of a centre at South Bank University, very much in his name and in his honour, and then similarly in Nottingham University. And I think in both cases I was struck by the warmth with which he was regarded by the people who'd worked with him and the sense of gratitude. It was clearly an exceptional individual. I felt very privileged to have got to know.
Well, I think Nat is still writing his legacy. He's done so much for so many people, for so many businesses, not just here in Nottingham, but in India and other parts of the world. And I think the legacy that Nat will leave, more than anything else, is the very positive impact he's had on so many people's lives, who he's helped them in their careers, he's helped them in their lives in terms of the way that they've been able to make livings and indeed raise families. So Nat's legacy, a very important one around the world, where he's been able to touch the lives of so many people.
Well, Nat reads very widely, and he has got something very constructive to say on almost any topic, yet in his own trademark way of combining intellect with humor. He has a habit of simplifying everything. In simplifying, sometimes you may start to wonder, is it real?
He's been a great leader for people that have come to this city from outside. I include myself in that. I came as a teenager from Glasgow, and that came in from India, more or less with nothing. That sets a great example for what hard work can do. It sets a great example for those who have come from less advantaged backgrounds in terms of what can be accomplished if you've got focus, if you've got determination, if you're prepared to take a calculated risk, which he did, of course, in coming to this city in the first instance.
Well, lots of people can list his charitable donations and his efforts to make the world a better place. I think, as far as I'm concerned, what I remember about Nat is that he's a person who, like this other individual who was born in India, Rudyard Kipling, said, he was one who walked with kings and still kept the common touch. And that is what I feel about Nat, that he's accessible to all, he treats people as he finds them, and he is, in all respects, exactly what you see in him.
Nat's legacy will be a number of children, young people in the city who've got technical education they might not otherwise have had, and I think particularly those from the Top Valley School, where he's been very helpful. There will be a number of organisations, particularly the Indian Community Centre, which is running a very, very successful community centre on Hucknall Road, which wouldn't be doing so without Nat's help. And there's a lot of other people, such as myself, who would have been a lot poorer for not knowing him.
Be remembered for firstly establishing such an extraordinarily impressive financial empire, then all the ways in which he's used the wealth he's accumulated for extremely good purposes, public purposes, universities and so on that he's helped, as well as private charitable purposes. He's a very philanthropic man.
Nat claims he has been extremely lucky, but also does not fail to advise the youngsters that the luck came to those who venture out. It is by consistently being involved and believing in yourself that luck favours you. He wants every youngster to know that he was an average student. He came from an average middle class family. He achieved his goals through hard work and determination. He motivates them to realise that they can also achieve it. As he says, if you can dream it, you can achieve it.
75 years, Nat. My goodness me, that's a long time. Can I just, on behalf of myself, on behalf of Christine and all your friends in the Lieutenancy and here in Nottinghamshire, wish you a very happy birthday.
I wish him a very happy 75th birthday. Doesn't look like that he's 75th, but anyway, I believe it that when he says that he's 75th birthday. I wish him well, with prosperity, health. Nowadays, he has to love himself because he has loved and cared for everybody. From his family, as well as his community and his favorite city, Nottingham. Now he must start loving himself. He must take care of his health.
From Josie and I, we wish him many happy returns and look forward to many more.
But I wish him very well and his family.
Happy birthday, Nat, and I'm delighted to be able to share this special day with you.
I just want to wish Nat a wonderful, wonderful day and many, many, many more years ahead.
As I said, you're only 3/4 of the way through, and I look forward to many more birthdays to celebrate in the future.
Yeah, they've got a very clear message. Forget your 75 and just keep going.